Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing you my Week 3 game from Season 4 of the Pokémon Premier League. Yes indeed. Now, as you may be aware, today we are facing off against Jack, the Donphanatic, and Norwich Skitty. His links down in the description below, make sure you go and check them out. Now a few points of admin before we get into this game. First off, yes, it is on Showdown. Yes, it is a bit later than we would have liked. And the reason behind that, there's actually really only one reason that was pertinent to both myself and Jack at different times and manifesting itself in different ways. Essentially, we were going to try and get it done at the weekend. I had a bit of a busy weekend. I was away. Came back on Sunday. We were going to go for it on Sunday, and then Jack, he had internet problems, which meant he couldn't get online at all. On his computer or anything, and he couldn't access his team. So we thought, okay, we'll do it a little bit later. And then I had internet problems whereby my DS wouldn't connect to Wi-Fi, even though there is a Wi-Fi connection. I tested it, it was fine. It's like, no, not happening. So we just thought, okay, you know what? We don't want to delay it any further. Let's go on Showdown. Let's do it there. That's why it's on Showdown. That's why it's late. So my apologies for all of those. Hopefully, we'll be able to get back into the proper swing of things next week. Now, against Jack, we are 0-2, he is 1-1, we both need these wins. So, my team, if you want to see a proper in-depth view of my team, head down once again into the description. You will be able to find my team building analysis video for this match to have a full in-depth view of the things I brought, the spreads, the moves, why I brought it, my thought process going into this game. Head down there and check out that link, you'll be able to see everything you need to know, but very briefly, we have a Choice Band in Ninjask, Offensive Assault Vest Torkoal, Fizz Def Mega-Venusaur, we've got a Choppleberry Offensive Spinning Rocking Excadrill, Choice Scarfed Meloetta, and Life Orb Excadrill. Now, on Jack's side, we have got Mega-Gallade, Metagross, Skarmory, Noivern, Aromatisse, and the Heliolisk. So, a lot of things I expected him to bring. I was surprised not to see Arcanine. I was equally surprised to see Aromatisse. I really didn't think he'd bring it. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I was quite happy to see it. I always thought that if I saw Aromatisse, it would be in place of something I feared more. And Arcanine I did fear more. So, I especially feared Arcanine. So, I was happy to see Aromatisse there. I thought, okay, I can deal with Aromatisse. And we've got that sort of this counters this, which counters the other thing on another person's team kind of link going on, you know. My Excadrill counters his Aromatisse, but his Skarmory counters my Excadrill, but I have answers to that in the form of Torkoal, and it all gets a bit sort of who goes down first kind of deal. But either way, the plan really doesn't change too much here. I have a plan set in stone. I think I know what he's going to lead with. I thought I did before the game was even starting. So without further ado, let's get right into this battle and see exactly how things play out. So, I'm going to lead with my Meloetta, and as I suspected, Jack is going to lead with his Noivern. This is fantastic, but I completely spaced on Frisk, and now he knows I'm Scarfed, which goes against the entire plan. He's going to switch out of there. I go for Hidden Power Ice anyway. He does go into the Metagross, seeing that coming. I didn't want to overpredict turn 1. You know, if he stayed in, he was pretty much dead. I don't do much damage to this guy. And, you know, at this point I'm going to switch out. I figure he's not going for a Psychic type move, so I'm going to go into Venusaur, try and pivot back. But what actually happens is that Jack is going to go into his Heliolisk, which is fine for me. You know, he can't touch me. This is a free Mega for me. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for the Mega Evolution with the Venusaur. Vimto here is going to go for the Volt Switch, and it's going to do absolutely nothing to me. And Jack's going to make a very offensive switch. He's going to go into his Noivern to try and take a hit. But at this point I am just going to go for the Sleep Powder, which is grand. His Noivern is now asleep for a little bit. Now here I did think he was going to switch out. He actually burns a turn of sleep knowing he can live a hit, as I actually go for the Hidden Power Fire, predicting one of his steel types to come in on that hit. That doesn't happen. Now I take a bit of a risk. I gamble on him getting another sleep, so I'm going to get some big damage off with a Sludge Bomb. That's a clean 2-hit KO from that range. He doesn't want to risk it. At this point, Jack is going to make the play of going into his Steel type, his Metagross. But I see the switch coming, or the Wake Up coming, and essentially what I'm going to do is just go into Meloetta to, you know, take a Hurricane that I think he would go for. Now he doesn't want to stay in with Metagross, implying this is something of a win condition for him. He's being very careful with it. And he goes into Aromatisse to go for Shadow Ball. Now this does imply that the Metagross set is something I'm scared of, but we'll get onto that later. I get a special defense drop here on D-Blob, which is nice. Nice to get something in my favour after the past 2 weeks, but I still don't want to stay in. Probably can't 2-hit KO from that range. Anyway, this is what Torkoal was built for, so I'm just going to go straight into it. He does go for the Aromatherapy, which is nice. He's going to wake up his Noivern, which is really good for him. And get a bit of leftovers, but you know, Torkoal was built to take on his defense, so I'm quite comfortable sitting in here. He is going to switch out, but I didn't think a Steel type was coming in, because it's a Torkoal, so I'm just going to go for Sludge Bomb anyway. He goes into Vimto, I get the Poison, decounting those, and this very much betrays his Vimto as Assault Vest. That did far too little damage. Now I know I can outspeed Ninjask. So he's going to go for Volt Switch, pretty much betraying that I am Assault Vest as well. He's going to get on out of there, and he's going to go into his Aromatisse. As I'm just going to go for the Earth Power. I'm showing all my moves here pretty much, but I'm quite happy to do so. You know, Torkoal is meant to stay in against these bulky guys, and I'm happy to do so. Now here he is going to try and scout me out. He's going to go for the Protect. I actually predict the switch into a Steel type. I go for Fire Blast. So that's fine. He scouts me out a little bit and sees most of my moveset now. But here, I'm pretty sure he is going to stay in. He knows he can take a hit. So I go for Sludge Bomb, and I get another Poison, which is fantastic for me. Not very good for Jack. He goes for the Wish here. And here, if he stays in here, he can either Protect or he can go down. So I went for Fire Blast, I miss, but he stays in. If I'd have gone for Sludge Bomb there, he'd be dead, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't be dead. But either way, it was a risk. It was a big risk. It pays off for him. He gets the Wish back into his Aromatisse. But once again, Torkoal is very happy to just sit in here and attack. I go for Sludge Bomb. I don't get the Poison this time. And Jack once again is going to go for a Wish. And here, I was so sure he was going to go into the Noivern, thinking he can tank a hit. I was so close to clicking Hidden Power Ice. But I don't. I click Fire Blast. He does go into the Noivern. And I'm going to click the Fire Blast. And ladies and gents, we get a crit this time. I was so sorry when it happened, because I understand better than anyone what that must have meant to him. But I finally get some luck in my favour. Now, Jack is going to click the red button here. He's going to go into his Mega-Venusaur, and I'm just like, I don't want any part of this. Venusaur seems to be the least useful member of my team at any rate. I can try and scout out what he's going to do. So he's going to Mega up with the Mega-Venusaur and go for Swords Dance, and I shit myself in terror because I'm like, I don't want any part of this. He goes to Zen Headbutt. It would kill about 3 Mega-Venusaurs from there, and down it goes. But now, it's time. He's here for the first time. In comes Ninjask. Gonna click Aerial Ace, and the fucking man takes him out in one hit. Down he goes, Ninjask getting a kill, always nice to see. That was a roll, but it was a very favourable roll for me, so we're okay with it. I was happy that Ninjask got a kill. But Jack now has, you know, the Skarmory, which completely hard walls my Ninjask. But at this point, looking at the 4 mons he's got left, Torkoal is looking really good at this point. Torkoal's looking very good. He's going to set up spikes here with the Skarmory. And he's going to get on the hell out of dodge. He doesn't want to take a Fire Blast, that's fair enough. I am going to go for the Fire Blast, and that's going to hit D-Blob pretty hard. But now it's a bit of a dubious thing as to whether a Sludge Bomb can take him out from this range. So I'm going to go for it, and it doesn't take him out, but we get another Poison. I think that's the third. We're getting all of the hacks in our favour. He's going to go for the last gasp Wish, and Aromatisse is going to go down to the Poison here. But I'm okay with it. Down it goes. He's going to be able to get Wish into something else. And he's going to go into his Heliolisk to try and claim that Wish. Now, I don't particularly want to take a Surf at this point. I do want to keep Torkoal around for his 2 Steel types, so I am going to go into the safe middle. That's Meloetta. And he's going to drop a Thunderbolt on me, which I take, and he's going to get right the hell back up to full. Now, at this point, I was certain he was going to switch out into just anything that wasn't Vimto. He actually doesn't. I overpredict. I stay in and Thunderbolt, outspeeding, of course, with the Scarf, and Jack is going to go for the Volt Switch here. And he's going to Volt Switch, and he's going to go into, boom, Metagross. Now, there is a set that I did not want this guy to be. I stay in here, I just want damage. I go for Thunderbolt, I get a very lucky crit, and Jack, my worst fears are confirmed as he goes for Rock Polish. And now I'm very scared. I have nothing that really wants to take these hits too well, but Scarf Meloetta outspeeds. He's not max speed on the Rock Polish, and he does go down. So that's fantastic. big threat averted, and now it's a 5-on-2 situation. He goes into the Heliolisk. I want to keep Meloetta around just in case. I am going to go into my Excadrill, knowing that I can take, you know, Stab and then a Surf. He's actually going to go for the Hyper Voice here. But Excadrill is pretty much useless. But he goes Focus Blast. He misses. He misses, and I take him out, as you can see here, with an Earthquake. Now, again, that didn't matter. I do have a Troupple Berry. His max roll was 57%, so I would have lived. But now it's a 5-on-1 situation. He's going to go into his Skarmory. I pretty much lose nothing here by just going for a Rapid Spin. Might as well get rid of the hazards while I can. And, you know, he's just going to go for a Brave Bird. Now, this is a matchup that he will win 1v1 because he's going to have Recovery. I know this. But what I can do is I can just go directly into my pretty much MVP, and that's going to be Torkoal. I can go into Torkoal. I know I can tank at least 2 Brave Birds, and you know that's exactly what I'm going to do. So he's going to go for the Brave Bird. It's not going to do too much. He gets a bit of leftovers back, and he's going to go for another one. And even if I don't kill him with Fire Blast, I'll do enough damage to the point where the next thing in will. So going to live the Brave Bird, go for Fire Blast and miss. Which was unfortunate. I was a little bit annoyed about that, but let's be real, I got the better end of hacks in this game. So I am just going to let Torkoal go down. I'm not going to take any risks because, you know, Excadrill loses 1v1 to this guy, Ninjask loses 1v1, Meloetta might not kill if he's Spid F, similar thing with Greninja, so I didn't want to take a risk. I let Torkoal go down, and I am just going to go into Greninja, who should be able to win this matchup 1v1. I go for the Scald, it does over half, and I get the burn just to add insult to injury. I do get the burn. Now, I was doing more than he was getting back with Roost. He does, I think, have leftovers though, so it would have been dodgy. But either way, you know, the burn is going to help me out here. There's really nothing Jack can do. I go for another Scald. He's clearly not going to take me out with Brave Bird, but at this point, Jack pretty much does know that the gig is up. There's no way he's coming out of this game on top. And at this point, Greninja, Tung Fu can just go for the final Scald of the match. That's going to, of course, take out the Skarmory from there. Down it goes, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the game. So we finally we win a game. I'm happy. Our season has finally got off to a start. Now, it wouldn't be a summation of this game without, you know, addressing the elephant in the room here, and that is the fact that I basically haxed Jack to shit. Now, one can see this as vindication for the past 2 games, one can see this as retribution for the last 2 games I played against him where he wins, but it would be hypocritical of me to celebrate too much. I know this, you know, given what happened to me in the past 2 games, I, more than anyone else I think, appreciate how frustrating it would have been for Jack, and I do apologise to him because, and I've said this before, you never want to lose to hacks in the way that he did, but equally, it's never ideal to win that way, you know. Kelly put it very well in the match against me. He was saying, you know, he didn't want this. You don't want to have an unfair game, whether it's for or against you. You want to have as fair a game as possible. And yeah, I missed 2 Fire Blasts, but in the grand scheme of things, that was fairly irrelevant. I definitely easily got the better end of hacks there. I do apologise for that to Jack. Looking at some of them in an individual sense, you know, the Focus Blast miss on Excadrill I would have lived. So that, you know, that basically just saved me a bit of differential, I think, by the end of it. What else was there? All of the poisons, like Torkoal was just being an absolute monster in this game. Massive MVP status to Torkoal, by the way. I think 3 poisons he got, which was ridiculous, and a special defense drop, which kind of, it didn't matter too much in the short term, but you know, in the long term, sorry, but it did force out the Aromatisse not wanting to take too many more special hits. The big one, it has to be said once again with Torkoal, was the crit on the Noivern. Now, Torkoal possibly could have lived to hit, you know, with the Assault Vest and max HP following that, and gone for the Hidden Power Ice to try and take it out. But, you know, at the time, it was a huge moment. That Fire Blast had no chance of killing the Noivern from where it was at. It was a brilliant play by Jack to hit it up and then get health straight back into it. The crit came along at the wrong time for him, and that was very unfortunate. So, yeah, it's a bit of a sour taste. As I say, it would be hypocritical of me to celebrate too much off the fact of how I did win that game, which was largely, I think, due to hacks. I think I put together a fairly good team, but then again, I think so did Jack at the end of the day. Yeah, it was an unfortunate series of events for him, but you take the wins where you can, and after the start we had of the season, we will take wins where we can. That was a big one for us, a big 4-0. So we're 1-2. We're at -5, which isn't great, but we're off the bottom of the table, which is nice. I think we're 10th at the moment, just sitting above Jack and Liam, and just below Alex on differential. So yeah, it's all getting a bit closer to the bottom. It's still early days. Next week, yeah, it doesn't get any easier. Next week we face off against one of the newcomers to the league, but certainly not a newcomer to league play. He is widely regarded as one of the best, if not the best, league format players around at the moment. That's George, Septile MC, and the San Francisco Arcaniners. He is very highly thought of in the community by myself as well. So it's going to be a tough one. And, you know, given the nature of how late this game happened, I don't have too much time to prep for it, but we're going to put our all into it. You know, if we can win the next game, we're 2-2, and suddenly we're back on parity, and we can sort of rebuild. The rebuilding process has started, you know. We've got our first win. Torkoal's proving itself. Ninjask has a kill. I'm always happy to say that. But, yeah, that's pretty much going to be it from this video. So, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Of course, links in the description to Jack. Make sure you check out his channel. He is a wonderful human being. He set up this entire league, PPL. We take the piss out of him a lot, but he's a lovely guy. He's a very good friend of mine, so do check him out. He's got fantastic content. You're doing yourself a favour. Links, of course, to the PPL Twitter and YouTube, as ever, for all things PPL, everything you need to know, in those links too. But yeah, as I say, I'm going to get out of here. I rambled on for far too long. Keep supporting Parasect Germain, guys. We are going for the top. And now, hopefully, we can build on a win and try and get there. But yeah, as I say, I'm out of here. So my final thank you to you all for watching. I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.